Hey, how's it going? This is Nick with the Money Dudes, and we're talking today about funding deals and the variety of deals. I saw him put my new backdrop up. Anyways, um, so uh, hopefully you guys can hear me. Let's see. Anyways, we're talking about different types of funding for deals. So you have the usual stuff: the banks, mortgage companies, if you're doing construction deals, building apartment buildings, land development, putting up strip malls, gas stations, that kind of stuff. And those vary in lengths. Maybe you could be remodeling a bunch of apartment buildings you bought at a tax sale or foreclosures. There's a lot of that going on right now. So there's a lot of ways you can do that, and they're pretty traditional, and they're not always the best way to go. Now we've got some alternative methods that we can do, especially with SBLCs and lines of credit. And generally do 50 to 100 million plus for SBLCs with different banks, usually the top 50 banks in the world. And we've got a lot of connections because we do them all the time. So there's going to be a lot of variables in that, depending if you lease them. We're not going to tell you what to do with it after you lease it. We just need to know what it's for. And then if you buy it, it's a different deal. So if you buy it, let's say it's 40 plus 2, or I'm just giving examples, or 46 plus 2, 45 plus 2, whatever. And there could be variables in there. It's an easier way to go, especially if you're getting a $100 million SBLC, or if you're getting a $50 million SBLC. We've got one guy now going to get $1 billion SBLC. Some people have different purposes for them. They want to wait. Some collect the interest on them. Some will put them into some type of trade with a registered broker, whatever bank or clearinghouse they're using. And so that's up to them. So there's a lot of angles you can go on that. SBLCs are fairly flexible. If you, like you said, if you lease one, we're going to do basically zero for you as far as what you do with it after you get it, whether you put it into a trade or do something else. And the leasing's a little bit different on there. So it's kind of a different ball game than when you buy it, because generally you have 365 days to use it since you get a year. But it's more flexible. It's an alternate way to finance, and it's a better way to go for a lot of cases. Letters of credit are good too, and a lot of it just depends on if you have it from a big bank and you're generally buying it at a discount from whatever. Uh, and so you can use deals for everything. You might use it for construction deals. You might be using it for some type of Wall Street commodities deals. Maybe something where you're buying some type of Bitcoin deal. There's some different variables for that too. So a lot of it's just depending on what kind of deals you're doing. Now, remember, the stuff that we do is all private market, so it's a different ball game. Now, we do have private funders that will fund commercial deals, depending on what you're doing, but generally those are going to be 20 to 30% down. So it's a different kind of deal. Commercial is pretty straightforward for the most part. Leasing is a different deal, but when you're buying, if you're buying commercial land along a highway because you're going to develop it, or if you're going to buy commercial land right outside in a county or a city area like Seattle or LA or St. Louis, Memphis, Kansas City, New York City, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh. I'm just using examples, Miami, Austin, Texas, San Antonio, whatever. Some people buy in their county, some people are buying in the city or outside the city. Usually they may put a strip mall, gas stations in there with restaurants. So commercial is pretty straightforward as far as financing goes. And there are they had some of these for a while, they still do, but not as much, because right now there's a lot of commercial debt that may explode out, like the residential debt right now, where you could actually, if you own the property, you could refinance up to about 80, anywhere between 70 to 85% of it, and then they'll go ahead and allow you to use the money to roll it up. If you're going to go ahead and build it out and then they'll go over 100% in value, like 110, 120%. They have those kind of deals out there. They have other deals where you may buy the property but do an extra roll up in there. So you're going to buy the property and you may put a certain amount down, and then they may do an extension roll up where they may go to 90% of the value to go ahead and do more stuff. I mean, it just depends. There's a lot of variables in there. Commercial financing with a bank isn't as good as doing it with a mortgage broker or a private funder. You don't have as much, you have more variables and stuff that you can do. Banks are pretty straightforward. They don't have a lot. Now, on the other side with the special financing, then we're talking about the SBLCs and the letters of credit. There are certain types of monetary notes out there. These are all private, but you're going to have a lot of cash to buy them. They don't do lease and this kind of stuff. This is kind of the big boys league, all the stuff I'm talking about. So it's a different type of deal. Now, the SBLCs, generally, if they're under, if they go, there's going to be a small fee involved when you do it, but it's not very much. But you're going to have to do it to cover insurance and escrow expenses and attorney fees and stuff like that. But that's just kind of part of the game, especially insurance on it. But it's still a better way to go ahead and get some projects done if you're doing commercial projects, like I said, or if you're doing Wall Street type of deals. And there's other projects people use them for, like tech industry right now. The big thing is building AI data facilities. And pretty soon we're going to start hitting on that. We're going to actually start another special fund thing. Me and my partners talking about putting up small, what we call energy sufficient data power areas in smaller cities. So we go to a smaller city, not a big city like Dallas or Houston or Seattle, Portland, whatever. We go to smaller cities, like let's say like a Memphis or like a Springfield, Missouri type of deal, or like a Tulsa area. Then Tulsa's not too bad. Say Oklahoma City is a lot bigger, or going up to Plano, Texas, or Texas Tech Stat, something like that, where even though they have all the gas and oil in the world, but they need smaller energy facilities to run the AI. So we're going to be looking into that here down the road, and we'll let you know more about that. That might be something of interest to you. If you might be of interest to it and you have some money, there's a WhatsApp down there. You can contact us on there. And we're looking at some of our hedge fund and other advisory group partners. We're starting to look into that because there's going to be a big sector for the energy on that one. So and down the road here, we're looking to start another separate fund just to do that, just to build those out, because we've got the connections to build those type of facilities out for smaller and mid-sized cities, generally populations that are 500,000 or less. So if you have interest in that, just let us know. You can contact us because it's something we're going to start building out once I get the site, initial site built out, and some other stuff. We'll be letting you know more about it. It's going to be another thing for us when we start building out or some other funds down the road. So as far as the deals go and financing, this is something we've been doing for a long time with the money dues, and we have other areas too that we are deal with too. When I put the site out, we'll be dealing with trade line updates. It's becoming an issue for a lot of people because a lot of credit's getting crushed right now. There was two articles came out, one in Wall Street Journal, one in Bloomberg. I think one in Barron's, maybe three, having to do with the automobile financing, as far as the amount of people missing car payments has gone way up. So it's like at 60% now, 50 to 60% of all car loans right now. So there's going to be an issue there. Also, too, people dealing with credit repair issues, especially with the tax stuff. That's another area on that one too. And we'll have a separate site set up. I'll have a PayPal site set up for that. We put up our initial site, and then I'm going to keep building it out. So there's going to be some different avenues that we're going to do. Also, too, business funding we can do. We have different business funders. Business funding is kind of a weird thing because if you don't fit the real parameters for it, you're going to have, there'll be issues. It's harder to do. We should tell people, if you've been in business at least 13 months, 24 months is better, or 25 months of bank statements is a good way to do it. Because basically most of the funders that we deal with, there's a lot of variables in there, but they're looking basically, as far as non-sufficient funds in there, they want to keep it generally under 5 for, 5 per month. Generally, they only want to see 0. Your credit score, generally, they want to see 720 or above. And these are some real basics, but we can get funding depending on where you're at, from 50,000 up to, 5 million. So there's avenues there for that. Good example, someone contacted us, one of our ads the other day, needs a $10 million SBLC, he needs to lease it. He's going to probably borrow against it or whatever, because he's starting a fleet of some restaurant stuff in another state. He's been around for a while, so that's just an example of stuff. We have another guy that called in to us not even that long ago, and the guy is a billionaire, and he's looking to do some stuff to get an SBLC to do something very specific on a specific thing, and he doesn't have to do as much because he can show it. So we have these different avenues, different things where people contact us out of the blue just through networking and stuff that we have. So these are different areas. Also, too, like I said, besides looking at the apartment buildings and commercial buildings, you got to look at buying houses. And thing is, what's cool is you're doing SBLC, you could get a lot of cash on hand. You guys can pick up a lot of houses, especially on the tax sales, and also too, a lot of the foreclosures right now. Prices will start dropping quite a bit. They're starting to drop in a lot of areas like Florida. Certain areas of Florida is starting to drop like a rock. Even in Miami, it's starting to drop like a rock. And that's just an example. People can't get out of their stuff. So, you have fleets of condos. You have to look at the HOA rules, but you might be able to get those and, go ahead and rent those as, short-term rentals with some of the companies that are doing that. You might do, it's like a hotel rate. And so the opportunity to do that, or good rental properties, houses you might be able to get a lot cheaper because you can buy them cash. So this is something that we have people doing. And it's not like owning an apartment building, but it's still there. Buying a commercial building is kind of a different deal because that's a real location intensive deal. A lot of times for buying that, you might have Class A property on the bottom and you're leasing that out already. You might have offices, you might have top, you might have apartments. You have, different conversion methods and stuff. But right now, a lot of people are working out of their homes and doing that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of options for you. And there's a lot of things you can do. Like I say, get a hold of us on the WhatsApp. Go to WhatsApp. You can call us at 573-537-5586, 573-537-5586. And you can go ahead and message us on that, and we'll get back to you. Like SBLCs, like you said, we like to keep between, we usually do 100 million plus, but 50 to 100 million. We can go lower, but it's going to be a different percentage up front because they're a lot smaller amounts, and we can get them done fairly fast. A lot of them, people aren't going to buy them. A lot of times they'll lease them, and you'll have to figure out what you're going to do with that after you lease them. Everyone has certain things that they're doing. If you buy them, it's a whole different deal. Lines of credit, different deal. Being able to go ahead and fund through on acquiring the properties, construction projects. Also, too, if you're buying SWAS of property, you want to buy cash, you probably want to do an SBLC, purchase one, buy one, and do it that way. Letter of credit works too. Take the interest off the top and then turn around and sell it later on, or just wait to sell it off until it matures out, which is a good way to do it. So, and also too, we can help you with different types of funding as far as funders go. We can help you do that. The trade line updates, doing the credit repair. the business loans too. Down the road, we're going to be adding planes. People get loans for planes. You might have a jet you want to do. You might not want to pay cash. Some people do it for credit purposes or automobile financing. We're looking into that too, doing subprime or non-prime automobile financing. We're looking at going to do that here too with the airline financing too. So a lot of it varies that, and then also too, like I said before, if you're an investor, if you have to have over, a half million. We usually like people with over $1 million plus, and that's when we're talking about doing the small energy projects for smaller cities to fund AI projects, because that's going on. Because right now, a lot of AI is sucking up a lot of stuff. Example, like I'm in Missouri right now, and right now Ameren is a giant company in the Midwest, in the South, some parts of the Southeast and Southwest. And Ameren's kind of like an overlord of energy. They're pretty powerful, kind of like Duke Energy and a lot of these other big groups. And right now they're going to be raising rates, and a lot of it has to do with AI stuff too, because it's going to be an issue in some of the states they have, so it's going to go up. And so because they require more energy, the AI projects are taking more, so that's going to increase rates because they want more energy. There was an AI company in Missouri here that wants more energy from Ameren to fund their giant data centers building. You're talking square foot data centers, and that generally is 500,000 to 1 million square feet. And so they're going to need a lot of energy to fund it because of the data centers, because of the amount of gigabytes, terabytes actually, that they're absorbing energy-wise, and need a lot of power. So these are things where we're looking for people. We're gonna start a fund for that to start building them. We have some contacts we know that in the energy industry that we can help go ahead and build some of these smaller ones for smaller cities that can generate a lot of power, and that they can rent from us from AI. So there'll be money to be made there down the road. Like I said, if you had any interest in that, go to our WhatsApp, 573-537-5586. Just message us, and you'll probably talk to the D-man, and he'll talk to you more about it in detail as we go ahead and we ramp up into our next stuff. Also, like I said, if you SBLCs, State of Bank Lines of Credit, the letters of credit, let us know on that too with the WhatsApp. Just message us, let us know. Generally, like I said, 50 to 100 million plus, we generally like to do. But we can do smaller, but it's going to be a different fee structure for smaller, under 50 million. That's just kind of how it goes, especially when it goes to 25 million under, because there's more work involved. And we can do them fairly fast as long as you have all your paperwork handy. And we don't negotiate on any of this stuff. It's pretty much straightforward, and they're fairly easy to do. So we just tell you what we need, what we want, and then we kind of go from there. But we have a lot of avenues a lot of people don't have. We can do things a lot of people don't have. And this gives us an edge over a lot of people out there financing, because they haven't been doing the stuff we've been doing for as long as we have. Like I said before, I'll have this moneydues.com up here pretty soon. And then we'll be doing some other stuff. There'll be some small fees for some of the other stuff we do to help you guys get squared away. Trade line's a different deal. There's kind of an average in the industry. It's like $400 to $500 a trade line. That's average. Doing the projects for the credit repair, usually there's a small upfront fee. That's because of federal law. Upfront fee generally is like $149, and the monthly is usually between, let's say, $139 to $169. Now, if it goes to premium level, it's up to about $199. So let's just say $139 up to $199. That's just kind of a general average. And so we'll be bringing up all this stuff into light. And then we have people that work for us all over the U.S. doing different things. So like I said before, this is Nick with the Money Dudes, moneydudes.com. You go ahead. This is the second cast. I'm going to start doing these every other day or pretty soon, every 2 days probably. And you get a hold of us. Our WhatsApp, again, like I said, is 573 537 5586. Just go ahead and message us, and then we'll get back to you in some of the things we were discussing today. A comment section. You have anything, let me know. All right, this is Nick of the Money Dudes, out.